rainy season is well grounded in many parts of Nigeria, with different crops growing at different stages. In the northwestern region, however, the farms are dry in many places and it is July already, as the rainy season lasts for a few months only. What are the implications of this dry spell on food security? This and more on Panorama this afternoon, coming to you from the Sokoto Network Center. I am Asmao Habibu Shagari. The Department of State Services has advised Sunday Igboho to present himself to security agencies as soon he will not have a hiding place. This was when the DSS paraded 12 of his guards for stockpiling arms and determined to undermine public order. Francis Pham reports.
The arrests and seizures are no doubt a confirmation of a grand plan by Igboho and his cohorts to wage a violent insurrection against the Nigerian state.
Acting on a credible intelligence, a joint team of security operatives approached the residence of Igboho at Soka in Ibadan. The team were allegedly attacked by his suspected guards, armed with AK-47 guns.
Alert foreign missions and licensing authorities within and outside Nigeria about this development and the possibility that Igboho could declare some of his personal permits and identity cards missing in order to seek their replacement. But this will be the end of his shenanigans. Soon, he will not have a hiding place. His strength will sure fail him, and the law will catch up with him.
Items recovered from the suspects include 7 AK-47 rifles, 3 pistol guns, 5,000 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition, charms amongst others. 5 of the AK-47 assorted rifles recovered from the suspects are suspected to be those collected by Igboho and his men from the Nigerian Customs and Immigration personnel at Idi Iroko in Ogun State. Franks is from NTA News.
Muhammadu Buhari is passionate about ensuring that the micro, small and medium enterprises get the best necessary support from both the federal and state governments. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at the 28th edition of the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic in Dutse, Jigawa State, where he also distributed agricultural machineries and equipment provided by the state to 922 beneficiaries. State House correspondent Jide Onifadi reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, accompanied by Governor Abubakar Badaro, his deputy Umar Namadi, and Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, toured the exhibition ground where various local products are on display. Vice President Osinbajo had one-on-one interaction with the participants and acknowledges their efforts, promising that the federal government will continue to give support and provide an enabling environment for their businesses to thrive. The Vice President also commends the state governor for collaborating with the federal government in the implementation of the various federal programs in the state for the benefit of the people.
I want to further assure participants that every effort will be made to address the challenges and bottlenecks that they may be facing. I must also encourage you to bring any of the issues, especially the issues to do with approvals and all of that, to the attention of the MSME Clinic Secretariat between today and tomorrow to get assistance and quick responses from some of the relevant agencies.
On his part, Governor Abubakar Badaro says the federal government continues to support the state in providing road infrastructure, dams, water for irrigation, and other support to traders, farmers, and even social intervention for the vulnerable in the state.
His Excellency the President also recently tasked our Vice President, who is leading the steering committee of the National Poverty Reduction and Growth Strategy. Tax was lifting 100 million out of poverty in 10 years. The President believes the Vice President will deliver, and we so believe so.
For every state and local government in the country needs to identify specific areas of comparative advantage particularly in agriculture and other resource endowments, and strive to optimize competencies.
Still in Jigawa State, the Vice President also joined the State Governor in the distribution of agricultural machineries and equipment. Before departing Dutse, Vice President Oshimbajo inaugurated a 5.2 kilometers road, which the State Governor dedicated to the President for facilitating the various loans through the National Economic Council for the Development of Infrastructure in States. In Dutse, Jigawa State, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Vice President has also tasked chairmen of local government areas to take personal responsibility in addressing crimes arising from mining activities as the federal government finalizes the revenue formula to compensate host communities in the mining industry. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at the Sustainable Mining Conference with the 774 local government chairmen. Mii Ogidi reports.
44 solid minerals in 500 locations in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, buried in the bowels of the mountains. It is a paradox of some sort. Nigeria suffering in the midst of plenty due to management challenges.
Mining is hard work.
A control room as it were. The media men seated. Then the Vice President and top players in the solid minerals sector joined virtually. Vice President Osinbajo came prepared, touching on issues of resource management, federal, state, local government relations in unearthing the hidden wealth and reading criminals out in the mining forest formed part of the VP's offering.
Hiring and equipping of armed groups by illegal but powerful mining concerns in many of our resource-rich areas is clearly fueled by the chaotic regulatory environment. The federal government, states and local governments have to jointly develop working arrangements to ensure that mining is attractive to investors, profitable for states and local governments. We must find a formula for compensating the communities for environmental degradation and erosion.
Out of the 44 minerals, 7 have been prioritized at the moment by the federal government, and getting the best of these 7 low-hanging fruits is the assignment before the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, state executives, and local government chairmen.
And the Nigerian Governors Forum, which I head, will continue to work with the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to deepen the objective of cooperative federalism and beneficial participation of all stakeholders in the Nigerian mining sector.
It demonstrates our zeal and preparedness to welcome global investment partners. We have put in place incredible incentives to support investors and to unlock the sector.
2 gold refineries almost ready in Nigeria. This will put an end to the exportation of raw mineral resources to other countries, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development assured. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidia Umar Farouk, has reiterated the federal government's determination to alleviate poverty among Nigerians through various social intervention programs. She was speaking at a stakeholders meeting on the National Homegrown School Feeding Program held in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. Haliru Muhammad Umar reports.
A meeting with stakeholders on the homegrown school feeding program by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidia Umar Farouk, was aimed at reviewing the challenges, successes and prospects of the social intervention in Zamfara State. The minister, who commended Zamfara State government and focal persons for supporting the program, said the federal government is committed to getting as many Nigerians as possible out of poverty through social interventions. Some officials of the program who welcomed the meeting called for full implementation of resolutions and recommendations made towards the effective running of the program in the state for better results. In the meantime, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidia Umar Farouk, has distributed engagement letters and some devices to trained independent monitors who will closely monitor all federal government's social intervention programs. In a remark, Zamfara State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management Faiqa Ahmed thanked the federal government for initiating people-oriented programs while calling on beneficiaries to take advantage of them. In Gusau, Halir Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
The Director General Nigeria Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, has added to the list of his plaque of recognition. The letters is coming from a group of Nigerians rewarding unflinching support to the fight against insecurity. Abdullahi Muhammad reports.
Insecurity, a global concern. Winning the fight, a collective effort. Management and intelligence sharing, critical. And for being consistent in the discharge of these roles, the Director General, Nigeria Television Authority, was found to be excellent. His Director News stood in for him with a reassurance of the NTA's continuous support.
NTA remains committed in partnering with the nation's security agencies towards maintaining peace and security, because nothing can be achieved without peace and security. And we all know the situation in our country now, which is bedeviled by a lot of security challenges. So this is in recognition of that contribution of the NTA and the Director General in particular.
Photographs, please.
And the award goes to my humble husband and the entire police officers of Nigerian and my immediate members.
A compendium which seeks to guide the public in supporting security agents in keeping the peace was introduced.
National security concerns is everybody's business. It is not an individual thing. It's not peculiar, restricted and limited to the military forces alone.
A song was also dedicated to peace and security in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Panorama continues in a moment. Don't go away.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
This withdrawal will take place under this administration.
Well, I don't want you to conclude on me.
All right, so
yes, we actually would like to, but you have also mentioned something very important.
Right.
Mentioned the issue of palliatives.
Right. Oil and gas under the Buhari administration. That's on one-on-one with the Minister of State Petroleum Resources.
People don't realize in Nigeria that a gas cylinder has a manufacture date and an expiry date. So a lot of expired cylinders were also brought into the country.
One-on-one, Friday, 10:30 p.m. on NTA.
Thank you for staying tuned. And now to our discussion segment, and we are going to discuss about dry spell and its implication on 2021 wet season farming in the Northwest. And I have